Hey crafters, welcome back to another Crafty Creations video by Kalisha. Today we will be making a Glam Christmas wreath, and here are the things you will need to make this wreath. A roll of 21-inch by 10-yard deco mesh, 18 pipe cleaners, a Christmas sign, 3 different ribbons. I chose a 2.5-inch ribbon and two 1.5-inch ribbons, and they're all from Michaels. You will also need glitter decorative picks and some floral poinsettias. Also a 14-inch wreath frame. There will be a list of everything used down in the description box below. To make your working wreath frame, you're going to take your pipe cleaner and place the first one on the intersection of rows 1 and 2. Then the next pipe cleaner will combine on rows 2 and 3. Then you're going to keep alternating till you're completely around the wreath frame, just going back and forth. So one up, one down, one up, one down. You should have a total of 18 pipe cleaners, 9 in the center and 9 on the outside. Now let's get started on cutting our deco mesh. For our deco mesh, we are going to take our 21-inch deco mesh and we're going to cut it into 20-inch strips. You will need a total of 18. Once you have all 18 pieces of your deco mesh cut, then we can get started on our base. Today we will be using the folded ruffle method to make your folded ruffle. You're going to take one end of your mesh and fold it over to the opposite end. Then turn your mesh the long way. And just like a normal ruffle, you're going to fold the ends in to help stop some of the fraying. Then you're going to scrunch one end to the opposite end, folding the ends under once you get to them to help with fraying. Then we're going to place it on our wreath frame. When placing your ruffle onto your wreath frame, we are going to alternate between having the bubbled looking end, which is closed, facing in, and then our open end of our ruffle facing out. And you're going to alternate between the two. So the open ruffle will be facing in first, and then the bubble out, and then the open end out, and the bubble in. Let's make one more together. So remember, first you're going to fold over your deco mesh from one end to the next, and then you're going to turn it the long way. Folding in the ends to help with the fraying, and then you're going to scrunch from one end to the opposite end. Before you get to the end of your ruffle, you're going to fold under the ends of that side. This is what your wreath will look like once you have completely added all 18 pieces of your folded ruffles. Now we are going to go ahead and the inside pipe cleaners that you used, which were the ones facing in, you can cut them off because we're not going to use those. Leaving the outside ones because that is where we're going to place our ribbon. For our ribbon, I've chosen 3 different ones. The first one that we're going to cut is a 2.5-inch ribbon that I got from Michaels. We are going to cut a total of 9 pieces at 12 inches long. Once you have all 9 pieces cut, then you can go ahead and dovetail your ends. To dovetail your ribbon ends, all you have to do is take one end and fold it in half and cut at an angle. And you'll do that to both sides and all 9 pieces of your ribbon. For our second ribbon, I have chosen this 1.5-inch ribbon that I also got from Michaels. And you're going to need a total of 9 pieces of that. And you're going to cut those 9 pieces and dovetail the ends the same way. For our third and final ribbon, which is also a 1.5 inch ribbon that I got from Michaels as well, you're going to also cut 9 pieces, and you're going to dovetail those ends as well. Once you have all your ribbon cuts, then we can get started on making our ribbon bundles. For my first bundle, I put the 2.5 inch ribbon first, then the 1.5 inch white with gold trim ribbon, then the 1.5 sparkle ribbon on top. I folded it in half to find my center, then scrunched one end to the next, forming a V shape. Then I placed it in my pipe cleaner, giving it a couple twists to hold it in place. You can feel free to put your ribbon in any order you see fit to. I also decided to alternate between doing 2 ribbon with the sparkle on top, and then I did one with the all white on top, and then I went back to 2 glitter on top, and then 1 white. Now we can go ahead and add our sign once you have all your ribbon added on. To add our sign, I took some gold floral wire and I put it through the holes that were already pre-drilled into my sign. My sign came from Temu. Once you figure out where you want your sign, then I flipped it over and I lightly tied it. So I didn't make it tight because just in case I didn't want it where I tied it, then I could just take it down and move it around. Once you have your sign where you like, then we can go ahead and start adding our decorations. For my decorations, I had these gold glitter poinsettias that were gifted to me from my mom. So I added 3 of those onto my wreath. And then I also had this gold glitter pick, and I ended up cutting off 6 of the loops, and I am going to add those to my wreath. So to add those to the wreath, I just put some hot glue at the end of it, and then I stuck it under my ribbon and connected it to the mesh in the ends of the ribbon where it V-shaped at. And then I did that to added that to 2 of the ribbons, and then there was the floral gold poinsettia, and then I added 2 more of the glitter picks. So I alternated between 2 glitter picks and a floral poinsettia. So it went 2 picks, 1 poinsettia, 2 picks, 1 poinsettia. For the ribbon that had the gold picks on them, I decided that I was not going to use those um, pipe cleaners anymore. So I just twisted them up and cut off the excess and then folded it away so that you couldn't see it. And then for the ones that had the poinsettia on it, I decided to curl them up. And then on one of the curls, I added hot glue to the tip of it and I placed my poinsettia on top of that so that way it stayed in place. And I repeated that process until all 3 of my poinsettias were glued down. And this is what your wreath looks like once you have your poinsettias and your gold picks added to it. I also realized that I didn't tightly tie down my sign. So now that I know that that's where I wanted it, I tied my sign down to the wreath frame tightly so that it wouldn't come undone. I also decided that I wanted to add some Christmas ornaments to my wreath. So I took 4 pipe cleaners because I'm going to take 4 gold glitter Christmas ornaments and then 4 shiny gold Christmas ornaments, and I'm going to place them on my wreath. To do that, I just cut 4 pipe cleaners in half, and then I glued the tops down on, made sure I glued down the tops on the ornaments so that they didn't come off, and I tied the pipe cleaners to those, and then I just placed them through my wreath where I saw that I wanted them to be. Once you have your ornaments placed where you would like, then you can go ahead and flip over your wreath, and then you start just attaching your excess pipe cleaner to your wreath frame. And then I just wrapped it around one of the wires until there was nothing left of it. And then this is what it will look like. To cover the back of my wreath, I have a steering wheel cover that I got from the Dollar Tree, and I just stretched it out until I couldn't stretch anymore. And then I also, before I added the steering wheel cover, I added jute cord to the back of my wreath because that is what we will use to be able to hang our wreath up. After adding my jute cord, I then took my steering wheel cover and stretched it around the back of the wreath, closing off any of the wreath that we don't want anyone to see. Once I added my steering wheel cover, then I added my logo sign that I attached to all my wreaths. And to add that, I just glued it to the back of the steering wheel cover. And this is what our finished product looks like. I think it is one glamtastic wreath, and I can't wait to create my next wreath with you guys. I also made bows that match the ribbon that we used to make this wreath, so be looking out for that video.